it's Andre here. Julia, what makes the unique ability process so unique as compared to others? Like, why are actually entrepreneurs are lining up a year ahead of time on schedule for the process with you? So, what's the big deal about it?
Well, first of all, I don't know anyone else's process, so I can't compare our process to anyone else's. I only know what, Dan and Babs came up with in terms of really focusing on those activities that are superior skill, give you that you're passionate about, that give you energy and a sense of never-ending improvement, which is the four criteria for our unique ability activities. But what I do with people is I go super deep, and I connect a lot of dots. So for me, it's, again, if my unique ability is integrating the parts of a whole, I help create an integrated description and very clear. I think clarity is something that people seek, and that's something I'm passionate about. And I like to know exactly what it is. I want to know the words that describe it. So I really, someone joked around that, yeah, Julia, she's really nice and everything, but she'll pin you down, like a specimen. So I will get right in there, and I want to know, because I want to know, and I obviously want the other person to know, but I actually just really want to know, kind of like Mark, you want to know people's stories. Now they then learn their stories through sharing with you. So I want total clarity on who they are and what they're all about. What are they thinking, feeling, doing, and being, all of those things included. And so people get these incredible light bulbs of clarity. And then it's like, okay, and we boil it down to one page. I mean, basically 10 paragraphs. And then we boil all of that down to one sentence so that you can walk away with, my unique ability is blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, okay, once you've got it, you can't unring that bell, and now you got it for life. So now it just becomes a matter of execution and alignment and letting go of the things that don't fit with that page. We call it you on a page because it's kind of you as a summary. And then attracting those things that do fit with who you are and what you're here to contribute. And also telling people, hey, if it's not on this page, don't count on me to do it. And giving that freedom, like you were talking about earlier, of, hey, I'm not good at that stuff. And if you're in a culture that helps support that, then you can let go of those things, because we are all bad at certain things. We are all, and they're different. So, and we're all good at certain things. So I don't know if I answered your question, Andre, but I think it's very deep and it's very connecting and can really shift people's awareness and make them conscious and aware of what they were not aware of before, and give them way more freedom as a result.
Yeah, and Andre, again, like, to me, the best thing about it, okay, the statement's one thing, it's cool and all, but it was identifying the best habits, how you do the things. Like, that's where the impulsive thinker came from, is the title, because my best habit is to have other people involved to solve a problem. Then the solution impulsively comes into my mouth, into my head, then impulsively comes out of my mouth, and it's solved. But I need more than one person to get my thinking and get everyone's solutions out. So the best habit part, to me, that was the transformational part. And when people are reading, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's one of the reasons it's definitely different than others. And the how you get to there is definitely unique and transformational. So thanks, Julia.
Thanks, Andre.
This is Renee. I think, to piggyback off of what Andre said about, like, when you get to that space of your unique ability, I know for me, what I realized was when I started my preschool, I set out to be the best preschool out there. Well, in that language of being the best, you have to know what other people are doing. But when, like what you said, Julia, you created, or however unique ability came to be in the way you're working with it, came from your unique ability. So you don't know what other people are doing. And so I moved from competition to weeding out all the competition, because I wasn't looking at anyone else. I was just operating from my unique perspective, which then allows you to rely on other people. Like you said, Andre, that you need to be in connection with other people for your thing to come out. And then to go back to what Mark said, like, can you imagine if every child turned into or grew up into the lens of their unique ability? And then the competition is that, I'm all for healthy competition. I'm not saying competition is bad, but the collaboration, the connection you can make with people to create the collective strength and power, using just life force, and what kind of world we would have, it would be phenomenal.
So Andre, here again, Renee, you said something about the kids. So Julia at the beginning, she said, how her daughter, she sees herself unique because that's
Yes.
the only language Julia speaks. But imagine if you learned that when you're a kid. So that's the gift now I'm giving my kids. I have a 12 and a 16-year-old. They're actually telling teachers and friends, that's not my ability. Can someone else do it? And then also identifying with them, you're going to do this because this is what you're awesome at, and support them. And they know at a young age, and give them the vocabulary, they're set for life. It'd be a gift to more just me or knowing. It's if you got to reciprocate that to others, and especially with your kids, man. Watching them all of a sudden say, hey, teacher says your kid has an attitude. Why? She says she's just not good at all this stuff and she's wasting her time. Well, you're kind of right. She is.
Yeah. Amazing.
You're here. I think we're all passionate about kids and helping, when you were saying earlier too, Mark and Renee, I think we all resonate with that. And that's a passion of mine too. And if they can have that awareness, and then they'll be intrinsically motivated from their own, like you said, the creativity is going to come from themselves. They're just going to create new stuff based on their unique set of talents. Yeah, it's really it is a transformational concept. And I think that's too what makes our process unique, is because people transform as a result, and they become more, people even change how they dress after they dress more like themselves. They shed their jackets or whatever, and now they're wearing their Hawaiian shirts. One of my clients, or they just act more like themselves, because they have more freedom, and which is what strategic coach is all about. So again, it ties it back to that. And if our kids could design their own paths based on their unique ability, I mean, that would be my dream, is for them to be able to do that. But the parents are the ones who can support. The teachers, obviously can't always rely on the school system to do that. But parents can have a huge influence on their kids, just even pointing out and noticing things and reinforcing that, that you have a unique set of talents. And that's why this, or sometimes you need to strategize around something, or get teamwork, or, figure out a way to do it, get the result. That's very powerful.
Well, and similar to Andre, I have 3 teens, 14, 16, and 18. And to now be able, when they were younger, I was like, well, I don't know if this quote unquote works. But to watch 3 teenagers navigate life and never say I can't, or even lean towards that, and just like, hey, mom, dad, what, how can I make X, Y, and Z happen, is like, if I could bottle this up and put it on the shelves for people, it'd be amazing.
Take it far and wide.
And if you think about it, the world already understands the value of unique ability. I mean, we reward uniqueness in every sector. But it seems like when we get into organizations, i.e. businesses, that's where things get messed up, because the motivation is to make money. The motivation is to perform your quote unquote job. I guess I'd love to start to wrap things up by examining, how do we get business owners and leaders to understand how to embrace unique ability and to harness it in the workplace? Because that's really where the magic happens.
I have a quick comment on that, Mark. I agree, that's where the magic happens, but there's also magic happens when you as an individual understand your unique ability. So what we've been talking about is this combination of whether it's assessments that are looking at your own self-view, and then being able to bring in the view of others to kind of round that off. If you think, a lot of people get into situations where they're defined by other people's expectations or other people's definitions, and we tend to shun away from that. We have some self-awareness, and then we understand and build a foundation for who we are. Then we do an assessment like this, where we're able to now constructively take in feedback from external people in the right way to help build on who we are. It reminds me of how many people have misplaced their keys in their house, and it's sitting right there on the table where you left them, but you can't see it. You're looking all around it. It's there, but you cannot see it. It sounds like this process is akin to me to uncovering those keys and being able to see what's right there before you.